Good evening, everybody. So we'll start with the public administration. And in last class, we have discussed about the introduction of the public administration. We have seen that public administration as an activity was an age-old activity, but as a discipline, public administration is a new one. As a discipline or as an academic subject, public administration is of recent origin. In fact, we take 1887 as the starting point of this discipline, public administration, that after 1887 only, a serious study of this discipline was started. And what was special about 1887? That Woodrow, there was a essay of Woodrow Wilson named as The Study of Administration, was published by him in the Political Science Quarterly. And after that, a study of public administration was started. And in fact, we have also discussed that in India also, there were, in ancient period, as well as the middle period, there were writers who wrote about something about administration. We have taken like Kautilya. And apart from that, we have also seen the meaning of public administration. We have seen, first of all, the meaning of administration. And administration is nothing but to take care. So administration, there are the various definitions of administration given by various thinkers. So out of these definitions, we can make an inference that public administration is a collective activity, is a group activity. Public administration is nothing but management of men and material. And also public administration, for public administration, there should be a rational organization. So these three things are important to have a administration. Now in public administration, we have seen the difference between the private administration and public administration. And we have seen that what is the meaning of public administration? We have seen that it is government in action, because public administration generally deals with the implementation part. It's a non-political bureaucratic machinery of the government. It deals with the public interest. It concerned about the policy execution. Although public administration is also involved in the policy formulation, but yes, the most obvious thing about the public administration that it is more concerned about the policy execution, and it covers all the three branches. Three branches means the executive, legislature, and judiciary. It provides regulatory and service functions to the people in order to attain good life. So all these things we have discussed. So today we will start with the, first of all, Aine Akbari. We will take another example of Indian administration. That is Aine Akbari. नेक्स्ट लाइन से लिखो आप लोग, आईने अकबरी, इसको अंडरलाइन भी कर लेना आप लोग. आईने अकबरी was written by Aine Akbari was written by Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl, written by Abul Fazl in 1590 AD. In 1590 AD. In 1590 AD. During Akbar's time, during Akbar's time, during Akbar's time, is another noteworthy treatise. Is another noteworthy treatise, on public administration, on public administration. On public administration. नेक्स्ट लाइन से लिखो आप लोग, एज ए डिसिप्लिन, एज ए डिसिप्लिन, एज ए डिसिप्लिन, public administration, public administration is a young science, is a young science, comma, perhaps the youngest, perhaps the youngest, perhaps the youngest in the family of social sciences, in the family of social sciences, in the family of social sciences. It is still in its searching, it is still in its searching, in its searching and probing phase, and probing phase. It is still in its searching and probing phase. So what we are saying, that still public administration could not become a proper discipline because it is the youngest discipline, and still we are finding a proper course for the public administration, for proper content of the public administration. तो ये एक यंग डिसिप्लिन है जो नया नया अभी आया है, ओके, एज एन एकेडमिक डिसिप्लिन ऑल्सो. जैसे हम लोगों ने कल बात की थी दैट देयर आर सो मेनी कॉलेजेस इन विच स्टिल देयर इज नो पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. सो इट्स अ यंग डिसिप्लिन, एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी कैन से दैट इट इज डिसिप्लिन इन मेकिंग. तो ये भी ये सब्जेक्ट बन रहा है, ये भी वर्ड हम लोग उसके लिए यूज कर सकते हैं, ओके. सो नेक्स्ट लाइन में लिखो आप, नेक्स्ट लाइन से, एज एन एक्टिविटी public administration is evolved, as an activity, as an activity public administration is evolved with the passage of time, is evolved with passage of time, evolved with the passage of time. As an activity public administration is evolved with the passage of time. So how it was evolved, that in ancient period, हम public administration as an activity बात कर रहे हैं, as a discipline बात नहीं कर रहे. So in ancient period, the society was egalitarian society. Egalitarian society. Just a second. So what we are saying that in ancient period, the society was majorly an egalitarian society. And there was no issue of private property. Resources belonged to everyone. For example, hunting, they lived in groups. And coordinated to achieve their goals. So what we are saying that administration, as we said, that administration is an age-old phenomena. Okay, it is available since the civilization was formed. So if we will take an ancient period, so in ancient period, the society was egalitarian, society was equal. And we are talking about the initial phase of the ancient period. As we know that in early Vedic age also, the society was more or large of egalitarian society because the people were tribal people. And the tribal people do not have this private property kind of thing. Because they had not made a proper settlement. And because there was no issue of private property, there was no thing such thing like private property. And that is why resources were shared by everyone equally. There was no rich, there was no poor. That kind of distinction was not there. So you can say that administration was also simple one. सबसे सिंपल तरह इस यदि मान लीजिए इस तरह के ग्रुप को चलाना है तो हमें जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हमारे लिए हमको चाहिए होगा वो काफी सिंपल होगा. तो इसमें वर्क डिवाइड करते थे ये लोग. For example, they have selected the few tribals that these tribals will make a defense for the whole community. They will create one chief kind of republican thing was there who will guide others. So it was a simplest kind of administration. Definitely they could have some kind of administration because it is a group activity. But the administration was the simplest kind. And then society was evolved, and we have seen that iron was found. Next age was started in the form of Iron Age. So it led to the formation of the feudal society. In feudal society, what changes were made in the society that people were divided into two categories. One category of people own land, and another category of people were landless laborers. People own land and landless laborers. These two categories of people were there. Why? Because Iron Age was also led to the Material Age. Because iron was found, and in Iron Age, what happened? That people started exploiting resources. For example, they mined and they collected various precious material, like for example, gold, silver, etc. These things became prevalent. Apart from that, because now they were not tribal people, they were settled people. That is why they needed land for agriculture also. And for agriculture, they needed some tools also, like plowshare. People started making more consumption. Earlier, there was no taxation system. As we have seen that in Vedic age, in early Vedic age specifically, there was a system of Bali. There was the voluntary offering to the king or Rajan by the people. But in this Iron Age, the taxation system was formed. So people were divided. Two classes of people were formed. One, people who have their own land, who are rich enough. And the other people, and that is a large number of people, were the landless laborers. That kind of society was formed. So after that, in this kind of society, and in fact, after this feudal age, you can say that new form of society came, that was monarchy. Monarchy means king rule. In king rule, the king had two responsibilities: maintenance of law and order, maintenance of law and order, and second was the generation of revenue. Generation of revenue. These were the two basic functions of king. These were the two basic functions of the king. अभी हम लोग देखेंगे जैसे जैसे हम लोग स्टेज पार करते जा रहे हैं, जैसे कि मान लीजिए पहले ट्राइबल सोसाइटी थी, पहले एक तरह से एग्रीटेरियन सोसाइटी थी. सो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वाज सिंपल, एंड व्हेन द डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ इन सोसाइटी केम, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आल्सो बिकेम कॉम्प्लेक्स. मोनार्की में इससे भी ज्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन स्टार्ट हुआ. But this time in this monarchy, king was not accountable to people. He was not accountable to people. Anybody? Why he was not accountable to people? Yes, why king was not accountable to people in monarchy?
Because king was not chosen by them.
Yeah, right. Perfectly right. Because king was not elected. In fact, he was nominated. Because उस टाइम क्या होता था, जो भी फैमिली रूल कर रही है, अपने रूलर क्या करते थे, अपने सन को ही दोबारा से किंग बना देते थे. So people thought that this thing will happen, and king also had no responsibility for the people. There was no welfare state. You can say it was a police state, because king had only two role to play. One is maintenance of law and order internally as well as externally. That means it need to safeguard its area from the enemies, and apart from that, internal maintenance of law and order means to deal with the conflicts in their own population. And second task that king played, that was generation of revenue. These were the two basic functions of the monarch. इसमें लिखो आप लोग, these two functions were performed by the administration. Behalf of king. The question of welfare maximization, was not there. Because kings were not elected. Because kings were not elected by the people. Kings were not elected by the people. And they were not accountable. Towards people. And they were not accountable towards people. And they were not accountable towards people. They were not accountable towards people. What kind of recruitment was there? Recruitment of civil servants. What kind of recruitment was there in the time of monarchy?
So near and dears were selected,
What,
which
what
have
is
good relation with.
what is called? What this thing is called?
Spoil system,
Spoil system,
patronage system.
right? Or you can say patronage system. So who had the final authority? Final authority was king. Whatever king said, whatever king spoke, that was true. And the administrators need to follow blindly whatever king said. Whatever king said, that became rule, that became law. That kind of thing was there. People had absolutely no say in the formulation of any law of the land. And the administrators or civil servants who were following the orders of the king, they were only accountable to king and not the people. And the recruitment was based on the spoil system or patronage system. As Shalu said, that nears and dears of the king were appointed as officials. So this kind of thing was there. So what happened then? What kind of evolution was happened then? So what came, that is, next event was Industrial Revolution. Now, how Industrial Revolution changed this scenario? The scenario of administration, we will see. So biggest change that Industrial Revolution brought in all over the world, that was it resulted into emergence of democracy. It was resulted into emergence of democracy. And meaning of democracy means that people rule themselves. People rule themselves. It means sovereignty of people. ये वर्ड याद रखना आप लोग, sovereignty of people. Sovereignty of people का मतलब ये है कि that people are their own ruler. People को rule कौन कर रहा है? वो खुद अपने आप को rule कर रहे हैं. That is the meaning of sovereignty of people. That means people were now became independent. That is the meaning of sovereignty of people. There is no authority. There is no authority above a people. Above people. There is no authority above people. With the emergence of democracy, with the emergence of democracy, functions of administration were increased. With the emergence of democracy, functions of administration were increased.
Sir, what was the last line? There is no authority of people.
There is no authority above people. There is no authority above. There is no authority above people. In democracy, there is no authority above people. So with the emergence of democracy, functions of administrations were increased. How? How emergence of democracy led to the increase of functions of administration? Anybody?
Because it requires mass participation in administration.
Anything else? Anything else you want to contribute? You did not catch the right this inference of this statement. How democracy led to the increase of functions in administration.
With the emergence of democracy, people could question the policies of the government.
Right. So this is near about that what I wanted to explain. So what happened that in democracy earlier, what happened that administrators were accountable to only one person, that is king. And as I told you, king had only two functions to play. One was maintenance of law and order, and other was take care of the revenue collection. So these two functions that were adopted by the king were performed by the administrators. So king performed these two functions with the help of his administrators. But now in democracy means the concept of welfare state. Now in welfare state, there are so many functions. Law and order, apart from law and order and revenue, there are so many functions in the welfare state. For example, they take care of the vulnerable section, to provide education, to provide health, to provide infrastructure, to provide the basic amenities to people. There's so many things that we need to provide in the welfare state. And because the elected leaders were accountable directly to the people, and that is why they cannot compromise with the demand of people. They need to fulfill the demands of people. And this is the reason that role of the administration was increased. And what was the basic reason? Because the concept of welfare state came. I hope you could understand this point. Okay. सो ये सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं, ये सब बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं. एक बार आप लोगों को कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो चीजें क्लियर हो गई और आप लोगों को इस तरह से कॉन्सेप्ट से ही आंसर लिख के आने, सो डेफिनेटली यू विल गेट गुड मार्क्स. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट लाइन से लिखते हैं हम लोग consequences of industrial revolution. Consequences of industrial revolution. So we'll see what are the consequences of industrial revolution. So firstly, in polity, what industrial revolution provided? What kind of polity it provided? Democracy. In polity, what change brought by the industrial revolution? That was the emergence of democracy. In public administration, what kind of administration it provided? Bureaucracy. That means rational legal authority. What is the meaning of rational legal authority here? Yes, anybody? It means now administrators are no more accountable to king. Now they won't work as per the will of the king. But how they would work? They would work as per the law of the land. Now they have law in their hand. There are code of conduct, there are code of ethics. Everything is legal. I mean, they will perform their activities that then from where they will take authority, they will take authority from the law of the land. And they will implement law of the land. इसलिए हम लोग बोलते हैं जैसे कि कोई भी वर्बल, मान लीजिए आपको कोई बोलता है, मान लीजिए आपको आप सिविल सर्वेंट बन जाते हो कल को और आपको कोई सीनियर आपको काम करने कुछ बोलता है, so you are not accountable to that person. To whom you are accountable? You are accountable to his post. So अपनी पर्सनल कैपेसिटी में आप लोगों को वो कोई पर्सन बोलता है, कोई काम बोलता है, So you can defy it, because you are not supposed to serve that person. To whom you are supposed to serve? To people. And to which demand you would take? The demand of that post, not the person. And still, if that person persists, what you can do, that you can ask him for the written statement. So that, because written means, because now that would be become a rule. Because जैसे हम लोगों ने बात की थी, आप लोगों को याद होगा, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लॉ की बात की थी, आपके एक सिलेबस में आएगा अभी, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लॉ क्या होता है? कि जो भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स अपना लॉ बनाते हैं, रूल्स बनाते हैं, बिकॉज पार्लियामेंट तो एक रूल बनाती है, लॉ बनाती है, लेकिन वो एक अब्स्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्म में होता है। उसको फिर फिलअप कौन करेगा? एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स हु आर इंप्लीमेंटिंग दैट पॉलिसी। उसको माइन्यूट चीजों को फिल कौन करेगा कि किस तरह से हमको काम करना है? एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स। दैट इज कॉल्ड द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर लॉ। तो यदि मान लो आपका सीनियर आपको लिख के देता है, इसका मतलब उसने एक रूल बना दिया एक तरह से कि ये चीज मैं ऐसे लिख के दे रहा हूं, बिकॉज ही हैज दैट अथॉरिटी टू मेक दैट रूल बाय द लॉ ऑफ लैंड ओनली। So now, because you got the written statement, now you can say that yeah, okay, this is law for me, और मेरे को लॉ के हिसाब से काम करना है। बट यदि आपको वर्बली बोलता है, दैट इज नॉट ए लॉ। ये कंसेप्ट सबको समझ में आया? यस, एवरीबडी कुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस? यू कैन रेज योर हैंड ऑल्सो। यशु, yes. Shalu say yes. Ishani, yes. Yes, Pranav, did you get this concept, or should I repeat it?
Repeat, sir.
Okay. हाँ, तो बिकॉज मैंने इसलिए पूछा आप लोगों के, बिकॉज जो भी आपको डाउट है तो उसको आप लोग क्लियर कर लो वहीं का वहीं। सो मैंने क्या बोला कि पहले किस तरह का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन होता था? मोनार्की के टाइम में, व्हेन देयर वाज ए किंग रूल, दैट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर नीड टू फॉलो ओनली किंग। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स वर अकाउंटेबल ओनली टू किंग। तो जो भी किंग ने बोला उसको एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर इंप्लीमेंट करते थे। उस टाइम ऐसी कोई चीज नहीं थी कि लॉ के हिसाब से हम लोग को काम करना है। लेकिन इसके बाद क्या हुआ? ब्यूरोक्रेसी आया। हाउ ब्यूरोक्रेसी केम? बिकॉज in polity there was change of democracy, monarchy replaced by democracy. In democracy, what kind of administration was there? Bureaucracy. And this bureaucracy won't take the orders from politicians, because who are the rulers? Obviously political leaders are the rulers, but they won't directly take the orders of the political leaders. How they will work? They will work as per law. जैसा उनको लॉ बोलेगा वैसा काम करेंगे वो लोग। मान लीजिए आज लॉ बुक में कुछ ऐसा लिखा हुआ है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लॉ बुक में ऐसा लिखा हुआ है कि, एक एग्जाम्पल लेके समझते हैं इस चीज को, कि इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में डैम नहीं बन सकता बिकॉज ये एरिया फ्राजिल है, यहां पर कभी भी अर्थक्वेक आ सकता है। मान ले हमारी लॉ बुक में ऐसा लिखा हुआ है, और आपको पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स आपको क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं कि नहीं, इसको डैम को आप क्लियरेंस दे दो, बिकॉज यदि इस जगह पे डैम बनेगा तो हमें वोट्स मिलेंगे, बिकॉज डैम बनेगा तो वहां पर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आएगी, पीने का पानी आएगा लोगों के पास, तो हमें वोट्स ज्यादा मिलेंगे। लेकिन आपके पास अथॉरिटी है और आपको वो प्रेशराइज कर रहे हैं कि इस डैम को क्लियर कर दो, but you know that if dam would be created in this particular land, that would be problematic for the people in future, because it is a earthquake prone area and big dam is not conducive for this area. मान लीजिए लो आपको ये बोलता है कि ये काम नहीं होना चाहिए, then to whom you obey? You will obey your law. You can defy the orders of your political executives, and not only political executives, your seniors also. So who is the ruler, real ruler in our country? Real ruler is our law, And what is the supreme law of our country? That is Constitution of India. And apart from Constitution of India, there were so many other laws. So as an administrator or as a bureaucrat, you need to follow the law and not a particular individual. Okay, that is my concern. So that was a change. तो पहले हम लोग पर्सन को एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर जो थे पर्सन को फॉलो करते थे, दैट वाज किंग, बट नाउ दे आर नॉट फॉलोइंग ए पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, दे आर फॉलोइंग द लॉ ऑफ द लैंड. नाउ इट इज क्लियर.
Yes, sir.
Pranav. Okay. So in public administration, bureaucracy was emerged, and society. What kind of change were brought in society by Industrial Revolution? Yes, anybody? Anybody can guess? What kind of society change were made in the society after Industrial Revolution?
Materialistic society.
Right, materialistic society. Society became materialistic society as well as individualistic society. Individualistic society. Even if you will analyze our India first, earlier there were joint families. We were more concerned about some kind of values. What kind of attitude was there for Indians? That we had saving attitude. We didn't have a consumption attitude. But after Industrial Revolution, because now there was more production of goods, there was a mass production of goods, and that is why people started consuming more, because these factory owners wanted to earn maximum profit, and that is why they produced more, and that is why they forced people to consume more. In that way, society became a materialistic society and individualistic society. How it became individualistic society? Yes, anybody can explain me this concept in after Industrial Revolution, how society became individualistic society? In world history, we have seen these kind of concepts. Yes, anybody?
Because with the advent of Industrial Revolution, profit maximization was there.
That was not a complete answer. Anybody want to try? Okay, so understand this concept. So before Industrial Revolution, what kind of society was there? Most of the population were living in rural areas, because there were no such industrial areas or urban areas. Urban areas का मतलब क्या है कि वहां पर इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन यहाँ पर स्टार्ट हो गया, वो एरिया अर्बन एरिया बन गए. तो पहले सारे एरिया रूरल एरियाज होते थे, लोग कहां पर बसते थे? गांवों में बसते थे. not only talking about India, I'm talking about the whole world. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? जैसे इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन स्टार्ट हुआ, सो फैक्ट्रीज वर ओपनिंग, और वो ओपनिंग जहां जहां पर फैक्ट्रीज लगी वो क्या बन गए? अर्बन सेंटर्स बन गए. इन रूरल एरियाज देयर वर less availability of resources and income, and that is why the people of rural areas migrated from their land to urban centers. और कई बार ऐसा भी होता था कि जैसे इनकी फैमिलीज रूरल एरियाज में, लेकिन वो खुद शिफ्ट हो गए अर्बन सेंटर्स में. अभी वो देखो अपना घर छोड़ के आएंगे, मान ले गांव में हम लोग सब एक दूसरे को जानते होते हैं, लेकिन अब जैसे शहर में आएंगे, एक अर्बन सेंटर में आएंगे, नए लोग मिलेंगे, नए काम करने वाले लोग मिलेंगे, और उन लोगों को काम कैसे करवाया जाता था? मशीन की तरह काम करवाया जाता था. दैट मीन्स एट वर्क प्लेस यू कैन नॉट इंटरेक्ट विद ईच अदर, बिकॉज आप यदि इंटरेक्ट करोगे इसका मतलब आप काम नहीं कर रहे हो. तो उनके ऊपर एक सुपरवाइजर रखे जाते थे जो चेक करते रहेंगे कि ये पर्सन ऐसा तो नहीं है कि बीच में बात कर रहा है या अपना काम नहीं कर रहा अच्छे से. तो उससे क्या हुआ कि उसको इस तरह से बना दिया गया दैट ही बिकेम इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक. और वो नई जगह पे आया तो उसके बाद उसको किसी से कोई इंटरेक्शन नहीं होता था, एंड दैट द पर्सन बिकेम इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक बिकॉज द नेचर ऑफ वर्क लाइक दैट, because he became a laborer. That is why industrial revolution made society individualistic. Okay, so and definitely इसमें एक और ऐड कर सकते हो, consumerism you can also add. Consumerism means if any person is more consuming, that is the meaning of consumerism. हम ज्यादा कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं तो उसको consumerism बोलेंगे. जैसे कि इसका एग्जांपल है, जैसे ये जो ई कॉमर्स स्टार्ट हुई इंडिया में, आप लोगों ने एनालाइज किया हो तो, when this e-commerce was like Amazon, like Flipkart, these companies came in India, people started consuming more. आप लोग जब फेसबुक देखते तो उसमें भी आप लोगों को कुछ एड्स आती रहती हैं कि ये आप परचेज कर लो, भले हमको उसकी जरूरत नहीं होती है, लेकिन फिर भी हम लोग को इस तरह से वो एड्स दिखाई जाती है कि हम लोग उसको परचेज करें, इवन इफ वी डू नॉट नीड फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. दैट इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ कंज्यूमरिज्म. हम लोग एक्सेस कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं जितना हम लोग को नीड है. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कंज्यूमरिज्म. और ये भी किसके कारण हुआ है? इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन के कारण. और ये कैसे लिंक्ड है आपस में? इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन का मतलब, अभी पहले प्रोडक्शन कैसा होता था? मैन मेड प्रोडक्शन होता था, बाय हैंड. नाउ आफ्टर इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन द प्रोडक्शन वाज मेड विद द मशीन्स. और मशीन्स चीजों को बनाएंगी तो फिर काफी बल्क अमाउंट में सामान बनेगा, और इतना प्रोडक्शन होगा, ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन होगा तो ज्यादा उसके लिए कंजम्पशन भी करवाना पड़ेगा. So that is how consumerism was started after industrial revolution. और इसके लिए कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट भी प्रमोट करती है. Why government promotes consumerism? Yes. Anybody?
For more revenue generation.
Indirectly, yes, you can say. What else? देखो, गवर्नमेंट ने रेवेन्यू क्या करना है? गवर्नमेंट ने रेवेन्यू को बेसिकली का कुछ नहीं करना, गवर्नमेंट ने तो उसको एक्सपेंडिचर ही कर देना है. बेसिकली जीडीपी, जब हम बात करते हैं कि जीडीपी ग्रोथ हमारी कितनी है, इसको इंक्रीज करना है. जीडीपी ग्रोथ को इंक्रीज करने का मतलब क्या? हम लोग प्रोडक्शन को बढ़ाना चाह रहे हैं. जीडीपी इज नथिंग बट टोटल प्रोडक्शन ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. हम टोटल प्रोडक्शन को बढ़ाना चाह रहे हैं. और टोटल प्रोडक्शन कब बढ़ेगा गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज का? जब ज्यादा कंजम्पशन होगा. और ये हमारी नेसेसिटी है कि जीडीपी को बढ़ाने का मतलब क्या? हम ज्यादा गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज को प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं. ये नेसेसिटी क्यों है? बिकॉज इट विल लेड टू डेवलपमेंट. What is the meaning of development here? That if there would be more production of goods and services, that means the standard of living for the people will improve. ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन होगा तो ज्यादा वेजेस मिलेंगी लेबर को, ज्यादा उनको वेजेस मिलेंगी तो वो ज्यादा कंज्यूम कर पाएंगे एंड देयर स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग विल बी इम्प्रूव्ड. देखिए, इसकी भी डेफिनेशन है. जैसे कि स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग की बात करूं या डेवलपमेंट की बात करूं, तो पहले हम लोग सोचते थे कि जैसे कि घर में एक टीवी आ गया तो, और जिसके पास इसको या एक स्कूटर है घर में, इसको हम लोग लग्जरी आइटम्स कंसीडर करते थे. नो, एवरीबॉडी हैज टीवी एंड स्कूटर एक्सेट्रा. या मोबाइल की बात करें, 2000 में या 90s में ये लग्जरी आइटम थी, बट नाउ मोबाइल इज नो मोर लग्जरी आइटम. So the definition of standard of living or development has also been changed with the change of time. अभी आप लोग देखो, बेसिक गुड्स में पहले हम बात क्या करते थे कि लाइक दी रोटी कपड़ा एंड मकान, लाइक फूड शेल्टर एंड क्लॉथ, these three things were considered for the animal existence of a man. But after that more things were added, and now if you see the definition of the development, they have also added internet. If anybody that doesn't have this internet, that means that person is deprived of the development. So this is the thing. दैट इज हाउ कंज्यूमरिज्म लिंक्ड विद दी, जैसे आप जीडीपी का कॉन्सेप्ट मैंने आपको समझाया, इस तरह से आप कॉन्सेप्चुअल चीजें लिख के आओगे, चीजों को इंटरलिंक कर पाओगे, तो आपको डेफिनेटली ज्यादा मार्क्स मिलेंगे। सो वट एवर, किस तरह की इकोनॉमिक्स आई, इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन किस तरह की इकोनॉमिक्स बनी, इकोनॉमिक्स में क्या चेंज आया? यस, what economic model was adopted after the industrial revolution? Anybody?
Capitalist.
Capitalism, इसका कॉन्सेप्ट हमने समझा था वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री में। व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म? सो कैपिटलिज्म मींस only few people have this means of production or resources। जैसे कि अभी बात करें अंबानी की, सो अंबानी इज ए कैपिटलिस्ट बिकॉज रिलायंस कंपनी में बहुत सारे वर्कर्स काम करते हैं, बट यदि उनकी अर्निंग और अंबानी की अर्निंग में डिफरेंस देखें तो बहुत ज्यादा है। तो कैपिटलिज्म में क्या होता है कि ओनली फ्यू पीपल हैव द ओनर्स ऑफ द रिसोर्सेज, और बाकी सब लोग क्या होते हैं? वर्कर्स और लेबर। दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म। सो इनइक्वालिटीज आर बाउंड टू हैपन विद कैपिटलिज्म। ज्यादा कैपिटलिज्म को अडॉप्ट करें आप लोग तो इनइक्वालिटीज भी आपकी सोसाइटी में ज्यादा होंगी। Difference between the earning of these capitalist people and the common people will be large. And in recruitment of civil servants, yes, now what kind of recruitment was there? पहले स्पॉइल सिस्टम था, अब किस तरह का रिक्रूटमेंट आया? एनीबडी? यस, merit based selection replaced spoil system. That means now we conduct the competitive exams to select civil servants, and there is no more spoil system. So in public administration also, in administration also, what kind of change was there? That now recruitment was based on the merit based rather than a spoil system. अभी आप लोग को मान लीजिए सिविल सर्वेंट बनना है, so can you do that you are asking for any minister to be a civil servant? No, there is no possibility. Why? Because now there is an exam, that is civil service exam. Only after cracking this exam you can become a civil servant. That means now only merit based selection is there. Now you can write another heading, nature of public administration. Nature of public administration, or you can say it, or characteristics of public administration. इसके साथ ही हम लोग ये भी टॉपिक तैयार करेंगे, डिफरेंस बिटवीन public and private administration. Private administration, ये भी टॉपिक हम लोग तैयार करेंगे। तो इसमें मतलब ये एक ही चीज है, नेचर ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन और क्रिटिसिज्म ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सेम चीज है, लेकिन जैसे हम पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का नेचर चेक करेंगे, उसके साथ ही हम लोग कंपेयर करेंगे इसको प्राइवेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का नेचर किस तरह का है। उसी पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट में हम लोग प्राइवेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को भी देखेंगे। सो इससे आपका दो टॉपिक कवर हो जाएंगे, एक तो नेचर कवर हो जाएगा, नेचर ऑफ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स एक ही बात है, और साथ ही साथ आपको ये भी पता लग जाएगा कि दोनों पब्लिक और प्राइवेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में क्या डिफरेंसेस हैं। सो जस्ट अ सेकंड, आई एम जस्ट कमिंग। So in nature of administration, you can write first point, that is objective. Objective. Public administration seeks welfare maximization. यही ऑब्जेक्टिव है हमारा, इसको अंडरलाइन कर लो. वेलफेयर मैक्सिमाइजेशन इज एन ऑब्जेक्टिव फॉर द पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. while private administration इसका मतलब सिर्फ नेचर ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पूछा है तो आप लोग यहीं पर स्टेटमेंट खत्म कर दोगे. ओके, यदि कंपैरिजन पूछे पब्लिक और प्राइवेट में तब आप सेकंड स्टेटमेंट लिखना. ओके, दोनों टॉपिक में एक साथ करवा रहा हूं. तो दी नेचर ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन मतलब ऑब्जेक्टिव पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का ये, तो यहीं पर नेचर ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन खत्म हो गया इस पॉइंट में. लेकिन यदि आप समझ रहे होगे बात मेरी, तो यदि प्राइवेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के साथ कंपेयर करना है तो इसको साथ में ये भी आप लोग ऐड कर सकते हो. तो एक कंपैरिजन भी आपको साथ में दे रहा हूं मैं आप लोगों को, पब्लिक वर्सेस प्राइवेट. सो व्हाइल प्राइवेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन seeks, yes, what?
Profit maximization.
Profit maximization. So if public administration seeks welfare maximization, then private administration seeks profit maximization. Because the private employees will work for their company or work for their firm only. They are not accountable to people. They are accountable to their boss. But in case of public administration or public servant, that is not the scenario. They are accountable to people of the country. And that is why the objective, the final aim or objective of the public administration is welfare maximization, while the objective of the private administration is profit maximization. Second is the scope. इससे पहले आप लोग लिख लो, अब जो 3 पॉइंट हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, दिस वर गिवन बाय द Paul Appleby talked three significant differences. ये एक थिंकर है Paul Appleby, ओके, स्कॉलर है. Paul Appleby talked 3 significant differences between private and public administration. प्राइवेट एंड पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. तो इसको भी हम लोगों ने इसी में इंक्लूड कर लिया. So Paul Appleby gave 3 differences between the private administration and public administration. So first he talked about the scope. He said scope is unlimited. Unlimited को अंडरलाइन कर लो. It is unlimited for public administration. For example, district collector deals with, for example, district collector deals with around 3 million people. That means 30 lakh of people. Deals with 3 million people. Comma. It is limited for private sector. It is limited for private sector. For example, chairman of Infosys deals with around 1.5 lakh people. So the scope of private administration is much less than scope of public administration, because public administrator need to deal with the number of people. For example, I have given you that district collector deals with the around 30 lakh of people. But if you will talk about the chairman of any multinational company or chairman of company, definitely the people that he deal with is far less than the administrators, the public administrators. And that is why the scope of private administration is much less than scope of public administration. Scope of public administration is unlimited. The functions of public administration are also unlimited. थर्ड पॉइंट लिखो आप लोग, एंड पोल एप्पल बाई के लिए सेकंड पॉइंट था, ओवरऑल थर्ड पॉइंट है, दैट इज पॉलिटिकल कंटेंट या पॉलिटिकल कंटेक्स्ट लिखो, पॉलिटिकल कंटेक्स्ट, पॉलिटिकल context is always present in public administration, in public administration, but absent in private administration, So this political context is always present in public administration, but it is absent in private administration. How? Because there is no political interference in any private company, as we know. If a Reliance is there, can political executives dictate them that this should be done, this should not be done? But the public, these public administrators need to work under this context, that is political context. They are accountable to political executives, and political executives are further accountable to people. So that is why there is always a political context. So fourth likhte hain, fourth is externalities. Externalities. इसमें लिखो आप लोग, in public administration, outside consequences, in public administration, outside consequences are taken into consideration, are taken into consideration. Like for the construction of dam, like for the construction of dam, public administrators need to take care of these kind of things, like whether there could be earthquakes or not, whether there would be flooding or not, whether there would be displacement of people or not, whether there would be the loss of livelihood or not. All these negative consequences need to take care by the public servants, public administrators. और मान लीजिए यही कोई प्राइवेट ऑफिशियल की बात करें, प्राइवेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स की बात करें, whether they are the concerned about the negative externalities, जो भी हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं उसका क्या नेगेटिव इफेक्ट जाएगा सोसाइटी के ऊपर, क्या वो केयर करते हैं? No. In most of the cases, yes, answer is no. मान लीजिए आज कोई पेस्टिसाइड की कंपनी है जो पेस्टिसाइड बना रही है, whether they are concerned with that if we are throwing this waste outside, it could be hazardous. If we are flowing our waste into the nearby stream or river or canal, it could make this water pollute. Whether they care about? No. Because they do not consider the negative externalities. But on the same time, if we'll talk about the public administrators, they need to take care of these negative externalities. उनको कोई भी काम करने से पहले ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि इसके क्या क्या नुकसान हो सकते हैं for the society at large. And why they think so? Because after all, the public administrators are accountable to people. Even if they are not directly accountable to people, but the public administrators are accountable to political executives, and political executives are further accountable to people. And nowadays, this is a demand from the public administrators that you should be directly accountable to people also. But in the private companies or in the private administration, the officials are accountable to their boss or accountable to their seniors, but not accountable to people. इसमें लिखो, for example, in demonetization or GST, for example, in demonetization or GST, adequate, इसका सिर्फ adequate मत लिखो, आप इसको लिखो, for example, in case of demonetization or GST, public administrators did not take negative externalities in adequate manner. And so they were criticized by people. Yes, ऐसा हुआ था in the time of demonetization and GST, because the people faced so many difficulties. And why they felt difficulties? Because government was not prepared about its impact on the people. Government was not cleared about the negative externalities of their action, and that is why people face problem. For example, in case of demonetization, जब demonetization हुआ तब हम काफी दिन तक नए नोट नहीं आए थे, and we were only dealing with the old notes. तो इससे पहले होना क्या चाहिए था? इससे पहले नए नोट्स को पहुंचा देना चाहिए था बैंक्स में, and then only, या इसको फेज वाइज करना चाहिए था डिमोनेटाइजेशन. जैसे पहले 1000 के नोट्स को ब्लॉक कर दिया, and then 500 notes. But suddenly, because of because 100 notes की आप यदि ओवरऑल वैल्यू देखो तो बहुत कम आएगी in monetary terms. But they did not take care of these things, and that is why people face problem. So we can say that in GST and demonetization, the negative externalities by the public administrators did not dealt with in an adequate manner. अभी प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए देख लेते हैं हम लोग. इसमें लिखो नेक्स्ट लाइन से, प्राइवेट सेक्टर are not concerned about negative externalities. Private sector is not concerned about negative externalities. For example, printing press. Making noise in night. Another example is pesticide companies throw their garbage into river streams. And why they do so? Because they do not concern about the negative externalities. That doesn't mean that they should not be concerned about the these negative externalities. They should be concerned about the negative externalities, but for public administration, at least yes, we can say definitely they should not or cannot perform any action which is not analyzed first for the negative externalities. Next point लिखो आप लोग, skill required. Skill required. इसमें लिखो, in public administration, multi-dimensional skills are required. In public administration, multi-dimensional skills are required. इसको ध्यान से समझना आप लोग. Multi-dimensional skills are required. जैसे कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर की बात करें हम लोग, सो क्या डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर को सिलेक्शन किस तरह से होता है? मान लीजिए अभी सिविल सर्विस का एग्जाम आप लोग दे रहे हो, सो यू ऑल दिस एग्जाम इज अ जर्नलिस्ट इन नेचर. क्या आपको किसी स्पेसिफिक चीज के बारे में पूछते हैं लोग? नो, दे विल आस्क यू अबाउट एवरीथिंग. लाइक ज्योग्राफी के क्वेश्चंस भी आएंगे आप लोग, इकोनॉमिक्स के क्वेश्चंस भी आएंगे. दे व्हाट दे वांट, they want that in each field you have some kind of knowledge, so you should have some knowledge, because this job of district collector or district job of any other the administrator is a generic in nature. They are journalist and they are not specialist. So as a journalist, district collector perform many roles. Like what kind of skills a district collector should have? Communication, because district collector need to deal with many people. Decision making for his area, for his authority, for his role. Leadership, why leadership? Because large number of people working under the leadership of district collector. And then apart from leadership, motivation. He needed regular motivation. And then courage of conviction. Courage of conviction. Courage of conviction. So all these things, all these skills are desired from the district collector. But on the same time, if you talk about the private sector, in private sector, there are specialists, not journalists. One particular individual is given one particular function. For example, if you are in IT company, you are supposed to perform only that kind of function. आपको कंप्यूटर के सामने बैठना है और आपको सारा दिन एक ही काम करना है, लाइक यदि कोडिंग करनी है, लाइक कुछ व्हाटएवर, जो भी आपको काम असाइन होता है. So in private sector, your job, your function is a specific. आपको उस फंक्शन को सिखा दिया जाता है कि आपको ये काम इस तरह से करना होगा. जैसे मान लीजिए कि अकाउंटेंट है, उसको आपको सिखा दिया कि इस तरह से आपको अकाउंट्स बनाने, दैट्स इट. But the skill required for the public administration are multidimensional, and the skill required for the private administration generally are unidimensional. So इसमें next line से लिखो. In private sector, it requires unidimensional skills. It requires unidimensional skills. For example, IT engineer having knowledge of computer language. For example, IT engineer having knowledge of computer लैंग्वेज। एक और एग्जांपल लिखते हैं हम लोग, नारायण मूर्ति was made chairman of airport authority in Karnataka. Was made chairman of airport authority in Karnataka. He resigned within 6 months. He resigned within 6 months. He resigned within 6 months. So Narayan Murthy, who is a CEO of chairman of a private company, was made chairman of Airport Authority of India. But he resigned. Why? Because again, his skills were not made for that post. Because there is a difference in nature of the two jobs, public administration and private administration. In public administration, you needed multi-dimensional skills, and in the private administration you needed unidimensional skills. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखते हैं हम लोग, मोनोपोली. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज रिगार्डिंग मोनोपोली. मोनोपोली का मतलब क्या होता है कि एक ही कंपनी का बेसिकली देयर इज नो कंपटीशन. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ मोनोपोली. देयर आर नो चॉइसेस. That is the meaning of monopoly. For example, you can say that Google has its monopoly in a search engine. Do you have any choice? Do you have any alternative of Google specifically in the search engine? In practically if you say, there is no alternative. So we can say that Google has monopoly. So इसमें लिखो आप लोग, but generally even example दिया आप लोगों को, लेकिन public administration इसमें लिखो आप लोग, public administration is monopolistic in nature. Public administration is monopolistic in nature. Public administration is monopolistic in nature. There is no competition. There is no competition in public administration. Public administration is monopolistic in nature. There is no competition in public administration. There is no competition in public administration. For example, judiciary, legislature, etc. Judiciary, legislature, etc. In private sector, there is high level of competition. In private sector, there is high level of competition. In private sector, there is high level of competition. In private sector, there is high level of competition. This is the most important reason. This is most important reason that bureaucracy is inefficient. This is most important reason that bureaucracy is inefficient as there is absence of competition. As there is absence of competition. जो गूगल का हम लोगों ने एग्जांपल लिया था वो एक आइसोलेटेड एग्जांपल है, बट generally in private sector there are competition among various these companies, and this is the role of government also, that कि ऐसा कभी ना हो कि एक ही कंपनी का रूल हो and there is no alternative. But if we talk about the public sector, there is always a monopoly in public sector. कैसे? जैसे कि मान लीजिए आज कोई क्राइम यदि कुछ हो रहा है, मान लीजिए सपोज anybody has stolen your goods and then you reach to police station. Do you have any other alternative than going to that police station? And if they're not listening to you, not listening you, then do you have any alternative that you can go for any other person, legal person? No. Same side, there is a judiciary and there is a large backlog of cases. Justice is always delayed in India. It takes years or decades and sometimes centuries to get a justice. These things are common in India. So do you have any alternative that you can move to any other court which is a private? No. But if you compare with the private sector, suppose you have a connection of one telecom company, for example Jio, and if it is not providing good services to you, then you will move to Airtel. So there are choices, there is a competition in the private sector, but in the public sector there is almost, or you can say there is absolutely no competition. And because there is a monopoly of the government, and that is why there is so much corruption, and that is why there is so much inefficiency of public administration. That is अभी आप लोग देखो, जैसे कि मान लीजिए हम लोग बात यदि करें that if you talk about any public company, या हम 1990s की पहले बात करते हैं, उससे आपको थोड़ा सा बेटर आइडिया लगेगा. Before 1990s, what kind of economic structure was there in India? We had closed economy. So independence के बाद क्या हुआ? We were afraid. We had some kind of fear. If we provide resources in the hand of private individuals, they can exploit the people. हम लोगों को कैपिटलिज्म से डर लगता था when we got independence. Why? Because we had seen that in last 200 years how British has exploited us in the name of capitalism. So we didn't want to give our resources to the private individuals, and that is why the maximum resources were kept by the government itself. And government not only took care of the law and order and the revenue function and the welfare function, but it also became a producer. गवर्नमेंट ने गुड्स को भी प्रोड्यूस करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. एंड नॉट ओनली इन हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज, इन हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज देयर वाज मोनोपोली ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. जैसे कि स्टील कोई और नहीं बना सकता, स्टील सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज रहेंगी. पावर कोई और जनरेट नहीं कर सकता, पावर में सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट की मोनोपोली है. Likewise, in every sector, there was not every sector, I mean most of the sector, there was a monopoly of government. इनफैक्ट गवर्नमेंट वॉच भी बनाती थी. HMT की वॉच आप लोगों ने सुनी होंगी, वो भी कहते हैं गवर्नमेंट कंपनी थी. देयर वाज अ मॉडर्न ब्रेड, वो भी गवर्नमेंट की कंपनी थी जो मॉडर्न ब्रेड बनाता था. इन मारुति आल्सो, मारुति वाज आल्सो गवर्नमेंट कंपनी. सो देयर वाज मोनोपोली ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. एंड उसको हम लोगों ने ऐसा मोनोपोली क्यों रखी? बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट वाज अफ्रेड दैट इफ प्राइवेट इंडिविजुअल्स वुड बी देयर, प्राइवेट कंपनीज वुड बी देयर, दे वुड एक्सप्लॉइट. बट हुआ क्या? विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम these companies became inefficient. Why? Because the employees they hired, they were permanent employees. There was no monopoly. मान लीजिए आज अच्छी सर्विस प्रोवाइड नहीं कर रही है वो कंपनी. मान लीजिए टेलीकॉम की कंपनी लेते हैं, एग्जांपल लेते हैं BSNL का. If BSNL company is not providing a good service to people, at that time we didn't have any other option. We were so much dependent on the public companies. And these companies brought huge losses, and their workers or their employees became inefficient. They were not concerned, but they were not doing their work properly. And then government decided to liberalize their economy. Then government decided that we will privatize maximum things. Even if you will see, the Air India is also now under auction, and nobody is buying Air India because it has too much of loss. And why these things happened? Because there was no competition. And that is why government was poor performer. Competition always help. It provides choices to people. And that is why it also improving the quality. And without competition, the things would become inefficient. And that is the basic difference between the public administration and private administration. There is monopoly. There is a monopoly in the public administration, and in the private administration there is a competition. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है फाइनेंसेस. इसको टॉपिक देके छोड़ दो आप लोग, इसको नेक्स्ट क्लास में डिस्कस करते हैं. फाइनेंसेस. ओके, दैट इज द 7th पॉइंट. सो पॉल एप्पलबाई ने ये 3 पॉइंट डिस्कस किए थे. दैट वर द स्कोप, पॉलिटिकल कंटेक्स्ट, एक्सटर्नैलिटीज. उसके बाद जो पॉइंट्स लिख रहे हैं वो सारे पॉइंट्स हम लोग खुद से लिख रहे हैं. आई मीन दे वर नॉट गिवन बाय पॉल एप्पलबाई. So if there any doubt in this lecture or any other kind of doubt, you can ask me right now. Okay, yes, anybody has any doubt regarding anything? कोई concept समझ में ना आया हो या आप लोगों को पूछना हो, so you can free to ask. Yes, anybody has any doubt?
Sir, in this line, last one, this
Mhm.
is the most important reason that bureaucracy is inefficient as there is absence of competition.
Mhm.
So we can't say there is competition in the form of promotion. The person who is doing good public work.
चलिए ये एक आपका अच्छा क्वेश्चन था. चलिए हम लोग उस पे भी आ जाते हैं ना. इंडिया में जो मैक्सिमम प्रमोशंस होते हैं, these are based on seniority. Again, there is no competition. यदि हम लोग सेकंड ईयर से रिकमेंडेशंस पढ़ेंगे तो उन्होंने क्या रिकमेंड किया हुआ है? प्रमोशन बेस्ड ऑन मेरिट. बट वी फॉलो जनरली द प्रमोशन बेस्ड ऑन सीनियोरिटी. यदि मान लीजिए हम लोग को पता है कि हम लोग को सीनियोरिटी बेस्ड पे प्रमोशन मिलना है, हम लोग तो एज के हिसाब से प्रमोशन मिलना है, देन व्हाई वी वुड वर्क हार्ड. जब हमारी एज हो जाएगी तो हमें अपना प्रमोशन मिल जाएगा, हम काम करें अच्छा या ना करें. अगेन देयर इज ए लूप होल इन अवर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. दैट मीन्स दैट वी गेट प्रमोशन बेस्ड ऑन सीनियोरिटी. आई थिंक आप लोगों को आंसर मिल गया होगा इस बात का. That means there is no competition in fact in this promotion also. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any
Yes,
other
sir.
any other doubt? Okay, Shani said that morning time can be from 8 a.m. ठीक है, मैं इसको कंसीडर कर सकता हूँ. 8 बजे कर देते हैं क्लास को. Okay, I can feel that now there is a winter is upcoming and definitely I can do that. Okay, इसको हम लोग कर लेंगे, टाइम को 8 to 11 कर लेंगे. Yes, any other thing that you want to say? Yes, any other thing? Okay, then if there is no nothing to ask, then this is end of class. और अभी क्लास जो आपकी ये पबेट की क्लास है वो आपकी 4:30 to यही टाइम रहेगा, 4:30 to 6 PM यही टाइम रहेगा हमेशा के लिए आपका. Okay, so this is it with this class and for tomorrow there is no public administration class. आप ये मान के चलिएगा कि कल पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन क्लास नहीं होगी आपकी, और यदि मान लीजिए हुई तो आप लोगों को मैं मैसेज कर दूंगा, अदरवाइज आप ये मान के चलना कि क्लास नहीं है कल. बट जीएस की क्लास होगी कल. ओके, एंड टाइमिंग इसके हम लोग 8 to 11 कर लेते हैं. टाइमिंग नो वरीज, नो प्रॉब्लम. सो 8 से 11 कल क्लास है जीएस की, एंड पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन क्लास कल नहीं है. ओके, सो विल मीट टुमारो एट 8 o'clock.